Recently, a wave of leaked information has sent the internet into a frenzy. Rumor has it that the CIA has been hiding an extremely cheap cancer cure for over 70 years, just to allow big pharmaceutical companies to keep selling expensive treatments. A cancer cure? Using deworming drugs? It sounds insane, yet it's spreading at an incredible speed. Today, Knowlix is going to uncover the truth behind this story. Are you curious? Let's find out whether this is real, or just one of the biggest conspiracy theories in modern medicine. The world of conspiracy theories has a strange kind of appeal. Many people believe that behind most major events, there are invisible forces manipulating reality so that a small group, governments, massive corporations, and secret organizations, can benefit. Most of these theories lack solid evidence, often relying on fabricated information or claims that directly contradict science. However, every now and then, some ideas that were once dismissed as rumors turn out to be true years later. For example, in the energy sector, some believe that the inventor of a water-powered engine was eliminated by oil tycoons to protect the fossil fuel industry. In pharmaceuticals, there has long been suspicion that cheap treatments for deadly diseases, especially cancer, are being suppressed so companies can continue making enormous profits from expensive drugs and therapies. It sounds compelling, but so far, there is no strong evidence to fully support these claims. Or is there? Then came the declassification of a CIA document, reigniting the conspiracy like never before. The document summarizes a Soviet scientific paper published in 1950. In which researchers reported a surprising biological similarity between parasites, such as worms, and cancer cells. Almost instantly, headlines flooded the internet. The CIA hid a cancer cure using deworming drugs. So, is cancer really caused by parasites? And could a miracle cure have been buried for decades for economic gain? To understand this video clearly, we first need to grasp the true nature of cancer. Cancer is not caused by bacteria or viruses invading the body like the flu. It occurs when normal cells undergo genetic mutations, lose control, and begin dividing uncontrollably. Imagine your body as a large city. Healthy cells are like responsible citizens. They are born, do their jobs, grow old, and die according to plan. Cancer cells, however, are like rebels. They refuse to die, multiply uncontrollably, form tumors, invade healthy tissue, steal nutrients, and spread throughout the body. Cancer is not a single disease but more than 200 different ones, each with its own causes, growth rate, and treatment. Some are linked to smoking, viruses, chemicals, genetics, or lifestyle. This complexity makes finding a universal cure nearly impossible. Before going deeper, we need to face a harsh reality. Cancer has long been considered humanity's #1 enemy, the true, final boss of modern medicine. Every year, around 20 million new cancer cases are diagnosed worldwide, and nearly 10 million people die from it. It is one of the leading causes of death globally. According to reliable projections, the cost of treating the 29 most common cancers alone could reach $25.2 trillion between 2020 and 2050. To put that into perspective, that is nearly 50 times Vietnam's projected GDP in 2026, an overwhelming figure by any standard. Because of this massive burden, when the CIA rumor spread, millions of people reacted with outrage. Comments like, "So they've been hiding a cheap cure just to profit from patients," quickly appeared everywhere. The story is incredibly convincing, especially for those who have loved ones battling cancer or those who only skim headlines and comments. But what is the truth? Did the CIA really discover a cure and hide it to protect pharmaceutical profits? Or are parasites truly the root cause of cancer? Let's take a closer look at the document itself. It was created in 1951. Under normal procedures, classified U.S. documents are reviewed for declassification after 25 years. Yet this one remained hidden for more than 60 years, suggesting it was considered highly sensitive. possibly related to technology, defense, or national security. However, the core content of the document is not original CIA research. It is simply a translation and summary of a scientific paper by Professor V.V. Alpatov, a well-known Soviet parasitology expert. At the time, Soviet researchers noticed striking similarities between parasitic worms and cancer tumors, so much so that they described them as two organisms, in quotation marks. The most notable similarity lies in how they generate energy. Parasitic worms living in the human intestine rely primarily on anaerobic metabolism, meaning they produce energy without much oxygen. Cancer cells behave in a similar way. Tumors often exist in low oxygen environments with poor blood supply, while normal cells would die under such conditions. Cancer cells adapt and continue to grow using anaerobic processes. In addition, both store large amounts of glycogen, allowing them to survive in harsh environments that healthy cells cannot tolerate. Even more interestingly, some anti-parasitic drugs appeared to affect tumors as well. For instance, a compound called miracidin D, synthesized in 1938, was effective against parasitic infections and, according to Soviet experiments, could also slow the growth of certain tumors. Another compound, guanazole, was found to interfere with nucleic acid synthesis, a key process cancer cells need to replicate DNA and divide uncontrollably. At this point, many people might be thinking, does this mean deworming drugs can cure cancer? This is where the story becomes even more dramatic. Once the document went viral, conspiracy channels exploded with claims that the CIA had deliberately hidden the parasitic origin of cancer along with a simple cure. Combined with the enormous cost of cancer treatment, the story became highly emotional and spread rapidly. Many people believed it after reading just a headline or a few comments. But if you carefully examine the original document and scientific evidence, a completely different picture begins to emerge. First, the CIA is not a medical research institution. Its role was simply to monitor scientific advancements during the Cold War. If the Soviet Union made breakthroughs in biomedicine or biological weapons, the United States wanted to know. This document is part of scientific intelligence gathering, not proof of a hidden cure. Second, not all cancers are caused by parasites. The similarities in metabolism are an example of convergent evolution, similar to how harmless flies mimic the appearance of bees for protection. Parasites are independent organisms, while cancer is made up of the body's own cells that have mutated and lost control. The idea that cancer is a new type of parasite has been discussed by some scientists, but it is not a mainstream scientific view. That said, some parasites can indirectly cause cancer. For example, Schistosoma hematobium is linked to bladder cancer, and liver flukes in Southeast Asia and China are linked to bile duct cancer. These parasites cause continuous tissue damage and chronic inflammation, which can eventually lead to genetic mutations. This mechanism is similar to how asbestos exposure can cause lung cancer. Most importantly, there is no hidden cure. Just because certain deworming drugs show effects on cancer cells in laboratory experiments or animal studies does not mean patients can cure cancer by simply taking them. The Soviet research was only an early hypothesis, not a proven treatment. Today, drugs like Ivermectin and Mebendazole are still being studied for their potential role in cancer therapy. But their effectiveness when used alone in humans is generally very limited. They may only show promise when combined with chemotherapy, radiation therapy, or immunotherapy. In conclusion, the 1951 CIA document is not evidence of a grand conspiracy to hide a cheap cancer cure using deworming drugs. It reflects a genuine scientific effort from the mid-20th century, when researchers were still struggling to understand cancer and exploring every possible lead. Cancer remains one of humanity's greatest medical challenges. There is no hidden miracle pill, only the long path of persistent research, serious investment, and international collaboration. Instead of waiting for a so-called miracle cancer cure that may or may not be hidden, We should take proactive steps to prevent the disease starting today. Prevention is far more effective than treatment. And the good news is that there's a lot we can do to significantly reduce our risk. First, eliminate harmful habits. If you smoke, quit today. Tobacco is responsible for around 30% of all cancer cases, especially lung cancer. Next, limit alcohol consumption as much as possible. Alcohol not only increases the risk of liver cancer but is also linked to cancers of the breast, mouth, throat, and esophagus. Your diet also plays a crucial role. Eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and fiber-rich foods. Cut back on red meat, processed meats, fried foods, and fast food. Maintaining a healthy weight is equally important, as obesity is a major risk factor for several types of cancer, including colorectal, uterine, and kidney cancer. Stay physically active for at least 30 minutes a day. Even simple activities like brisk walking, cycling, or light exercise can improve overall health, strengthen your immune system, and reduce inflammation, one of the key drivers of cancer development. In addition, don't overlook early screening. Women should have regular breast exams and cervical cancer screenings. Men over 50 should consider prostate cancer screening. Both men and women should undergo colonoscopy screening after the age of 45. Detecting cancer at an early stage can increase the chance of successful treatment to 90% or higher. Make sure you are fully vaccinated, especially with the HPV vaccine to prevent cervical cancer and several other types of cancer, as well as the hepatitis B vaccine to reduce the risk of liver cancer. In conclusion, cancer is not destiny. Many cases can be prevented through a healthy lifestyle, regular health checkups, and reducing risk factors. Instead of believing in rumors about hidden cancer cures, take action today to protect yourself and your loved ones. A healthy lifestyle not only lowers your risk of cancer but also leads to a more active, energetic, and fulfilling life. Instead of chasing shocking rumors online, we should rely on scientific evidence, get regular health checkups, and support credible cancer research. What do you think about this story? Have you ever heard or believed the rumor about a hidden cancer cure? Leave your thoughts below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to Knowlix for more insightful content.